So your main gig is drawing, painting?
Mostly drawing and painting, some sculpture, and clothes, jewelry. It's a little bit of everything, but mostly painting. We're really like artistic family, and yeah, definitely big influences for me. Yeah, growing up. I was encouraged like quite early, like my mom would get me like a big art set from the art store, and I was just like drawing all the time. I never had a shortage of art supplies as a kid, which is awesome. So thanks, Mom. Thanks, Aunt. Yeah, so like all of the sons and everything, when she opened in 91, she had like a family, like she wanted to like showcase like Mexican art as well as like authentic Mexican food. And I think at that time, like people didn't really like understand like a lot of Mexican culture, like they thought of like Tex-Mex. So she had like a family of artists that all make these traditional like sun masks. Yeah, they are really cute. They're all like made out of coconut shells and like different cacti for the rays. She used to have like, I think she got like 500 or something made. Yeah, she opened here in 91. I'll show you the newspaper clipping. These ones, like, they're all like comic books. This one's from 97. Like this was also like where we wrote down people's phone numbers and stuff. Like all the people that would come to the restaurant. We love the food or whatever. So yeah, some of these are all dated, like different dates, like 98. Some in here somewhere, there's like drawings that I made when I was like a kid. These are drawings like people. This guy, he still comes to the restaurant. His name's Mike. Somewhere in one of the books, like, cause I used to sit here and wait for my mom, cause she also has worked here since the restaurant opened. So I used to sit here and draw, like as a kid, like just like wait for her to get off her shift. Okay. And this is one of my paintings, like kind of a, like an extension of my love for the restaurant. You know, I incorporated like the sun faces and like sort of like some different cosmic things. Like, yeah, the restaurant's kind of been like the center point of like my life, my whole life. Like even when I lived in Mexico, it was like, you know, coming back to the restaurant. So the sun is sort of like the main god figure around a lot of cultures in Mexico. It's sort of like the main source of life. A lot of, like I said, like the crops, the sun is a center point for that. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. And also like it's like a main like cosmic force. And you'll see a lot of them, like some of them have like the double face. So that also represents sort of like the duality. If you think about it, like the sun does have like different faces. There's like the sunset, the sunrise. So for these ones, I used like just regular pencil crayons and some like watercolors. Also like markers, pen, a lot of the ball pens. And then I make prints as well of those ones, which is awesome. Because then people can, you know, because the bigger paintings are kind of like hard for people to, they don't have the wall space, or some of the smaller work's nice because I get to share it more. Like this specific one here represents the Sonoran Desert, which I feel very connected to, and I like represent a lot in my drawings and in my work. That's where my grandmother's from, the Sonoran Desert. It feels like a place where a lot of sort of like my imagination kind of like is drawn to, especially like with all the different animals and the plants. Sometimes like in a desert you might think there's not like a lot of life, but it's actually full of life. And that's kind of like over here too, like the coyote's path. This bigger piece is sort of similar idea of like, you know, like a nocturnal desert scene. And like finding your way like through different paths. I don't paint like too big anymore, so Like the big ones that I've made, I only have like a few left. They take up like a lot of time to make. So
A lot of detail.
yeah, I definitely like, I just get lost in the detail. Like I'll just put on a song and sort of just zone out. This one is also set in the Sonoran Desert. And again, it's like about paths, different paths of different, finding your way through you know, what seems like a dry landscape, but is full of different life. And yeah, a lot of things are like, I kind of like those themes, like finding your path and dream worlds, dream environments, like things that you recognize, but you also maybe don't recognize. You know what I mean? Like it looks a little bit different, otherworldly. Yeah. And then this is like a painting I did, like, I think I was in high school. I was in grade 9. It's like just a homage to Frida Kahlo, which I really like. She was like a Mexican painter. And yeah, I used to paint her a lot, like when I was younger, because I just sort of gravitated towards her. There's not like a lot of representation with Mexican painters, like women painters. So I really like gravitated to her, and like I like that she was always putting her face on things. And then I kind of like got into self-portraits, and then people look at this and they say, is that you or is that Frida Kahlo? So I feel like it was kind of like a mix of like, it started as Frida Kahlo, and then I maybe just kind of like incorporated like my own face. My uncle always asks me like, are you sure that's Frida Kahlo? Is that not you? And I'm like, no, I don't know. Don't ask me these things. And this is our tree of life. So yeah, Day of the Dead's passed, but we like to keep it up. We have all of like our loved ones that are passed. My grandma, my grandpa, my great aunt, my great grandma, and the tree of life. We also have the Yaqui flag, which is like our heritage. As you can see over here, we have pretty cool gardens. We had a prickly pear, but I'm not too sure where it went. But this one, actually, I'm not too sure what the name of this one is, but we've had this one for a while. And she does very good here in the corner. Like gets lots of sunlight. Yeah, and then we have all the aloe plants. The aloe plants just keep coming. Like I think they kind of like move from one pot to another somehow. And then over here we have more aloe. And then this very nice tree here. This is our rosemary plant. This is a nice place to just kind of come and like sit down and take in some sun, you know. My mom lives upstairs from here, so that's where my studio is. So it's nice in that way.
That's convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient. Yeah, so although I would like to exhibit more, it's like I'm grateful for this space for the time being, for sure. But this is my studio, so come on in. Lots of stuff to look at, eh? Nice. I wish I could just paint all day. Yeah, I have to go to work. Oh yeah, and this is my funhouse mirror. It's not actually a funhouse mirror, but I found this like sheet of it's like an aluminum or something. And when the sun comes up in the morning, it'll hit it, and like it'll just make the room like really bright. Yeah, that's the designated wall for like large scale paintings, because I don't have enough, like I don't think there is an easel that's big enough to. This is one of like my self-portraits, and through like how we interact with nature, how, you know, we're all kind of like made up of the same stuff. I was watching like this science documentary, and they were saying how like we're mostly H2O, and it just blew my mind. So I painted this. Yeah, this one I haven't showcased. I think I'll probably showcase it at some point. I think it was more just like something I was kind of experimenting with, like the self-portrait, thinking about kind of like that whole like where do we come from and how we're all just kind of made up of the same stuff, but we're also different. Like, but I feel like so much of what I do is just so instinctual, and I'm like just always pulling from like my imagination or just like random spurts of inspiration. So this is what I'm working on right now. And like I said, yeah, a lot of it is from my own imagination. A lot of it is dreams that I have. Like I'm a really like active, vivid dreamer, and so I'll like sometimes have like these weird dreams, and I'll just kind of interpret on top of that with my imagination. So it's like a combination of both. And then sometimes like I'll have like just random spurts of inspiration, like I said, like a documentary or just a song or something like anything that really makes you think deeper about stuff. I have a lot of Guadalupe stuff because that's sort of like a repetitive image throughout my life. It's an important symbol in Mexico. I just really connect to it, and I feel that, you know, it's a symbol of protection. She's sort of like the mother spirit of all things. And I really like all the different interpretations of her, like throughout time. So for this one, most of them I freehand paint, but for this one I was mapping, like more drawing out like some sketches, and then I translated that into the painting. In Mexico, we have a lot of like different legends and stories around like duendes. They're kind of like little men or that like kind of run around and do different things, like little humans. So a little bit like tricksters and stuff. And they live in the forest or around like gardens and stuff like that, kind of like gnomes. I've been thinking a lot about trees and sort of like how trees connect worlds. You know, like the tree has like its roots, which go like deep in the ground, and there's that underworld connection, and then there's like the main connection, like the main floor connection where the trunk is, and then there's like the branches that reach out into the sky and sort of like the connection of like the heavens. Yeah, I think like the tree being like a connective point for a lot of is a reoccurring theme within like folklore, and especially in Mexican folklore and in Latin American folklore. So the clown represents like sort of like that break from seriousness. It's like a trickster character again. Like you don't really know if you can trust the clown. You gravitate towards the clown because clowns make you laugh, you know, to bring joy. Like that's kind of like the idea behind a clown. So I thought those were just like really interesting character traits. So I like to incorporate a clown as like sort of like my main character of a lot of my paintings or a lot of my drawings. It usually takes me about probably like for a size like this, maybe a couple of weeks. And then for the bigger ones, it could take up to months. Yeah, so like that big one I showed you, I think it's like 4 months to make. Yeah, and I mean, I'm really just making stuff for the love of it. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like being an artist isn't really a straight path. Or like in terms of a career choice. But you know, you keep doing it, right? You keep going. Yeah, that's kind of like at the core of everything I do. So it was like, oh, like I just feel like humanity's so amazing and strange at the same time. You know? Does that make sense? Yeah.
I It's a little black mark.
Yeah.
Wow, the details.